talk. It's really good to be back. It feels like it's been forever, but it's only been a couple weeks. If you come on, say hi. We are live on YouTube and also on Facebook on the La Vintage Decor page, and also we're cross-posting on the workshops at La Vintage Decor page. So workshops remind me to come back to that. But what we're doing tonight, so I haven't really been able to leave the house too much to get any additional supplies, because one of the souvenirs we brought home from our vacation was COVID. So my husband and I have been quarantining and getting better. So if I sound a little funny, it's the tail end of my congestion and stuff. So but anyway, so I shopped my basement, and literally hey, how you doing, Anita? Literally shopped my recycle bin and my basement for some things to work on tonight. So I'm glad you're here. And one of the things I found, these were brand new in the package, but I scuffed them up. So we're going to, oh, thanks, Anita. So we're gonna make these custom. I also found these little wooden boxes. These have just been around forever and not really my style, but we'll maybe make them, they're actually cardboard, but we'll make them look snazzy, and you'll laugh at these. But we got a couple tin cans out of the recycle bin and took the labels off of them, and I even pre-squished this one. And let's see, what else do we have? I have a glass jar. So these are our little goodies that we're gonna zhuzh tonight and have some fun with. So before I show you my treasures, because I can't wait to show you all my new molds and paint inlays and stamps, let's get painting, because we can talk while we're painting, and then when things are dry, and I can show you what we're gonna do with everything. So I'm gonna put the screen down a little bit, so if you do comment, I might not see it right away, but let me put the screens down here. So the first thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use some silk. This is our all-in-one, and this color is Anchor, and it is the darkest black in the mineral paint line, the all-in-one mineral paint line. So I'm just gonna, like I said, I already scuffed these up. Whenever you use this on furniture or anything, you want to do a little scuff sand so that the paint has something to adhere to, because these were shiny plastic. So but wait till you see what we do with these. I think it's going to look really cool. And what I'm working with tonight, now I've used stamps and molds before. I got some new stamps and molds, but I also got paint inlays, which is something I've been dying to try. So that's what we're going to use on these little switch plate covers and perhaps on some of the other projects. So got this at a place in Melbourne, Florida, and it was called the Shabby Loft. Oh my gosh, I was in heaven. Iron Orchid Designs, or IOD heaven. Just looking at all the paint inlays and stamps and all this, the good stuff. So it was fun. It was a splurge, but it was fun. And so I painted with the help of my family. We did a family visit and painted a kitchen while we were there, and I did post on Instagram, so you can take a look and see. It's on Facebook as well. The before and after, there were cherry cabinets, and they didn't have any hardware, and they got painted white and gray. The island was gray. Added some trim to the island as well, and I think the whole project came out pretty nicely. So, and then my husband and I went to Myrtle Beach, met some friends there. Hey Haley, how are you? and we just had a really great time. So I am open in the shop tomorrow. I'm done with my quarantine. So I did kind of cheat a little bit today, and I have ran out of glue and stuff, so I ordered from Michael's online, and then I had them bring it out, and I wore my mask. So I wasn't in contact with anybody really. But definitely starting to feel a little bit better. A little bit more normal. Okay, another purchase that I made while I was gone, and this does not mean that anything against Dixie Belle. This is market research, if you will. Oh, you too. So it's the last day of quarantine for both of us. Oh, gee. So another thing I got was a jar of DIY paint in Apothecary. So I just wanted to try it out. Like I said, market research. I've never used it, and I certainly have a lot of Dixie Belle on my shelves, and I love them. So that's not going anywhere. But I just wanted to give this paint a try, just for fun. So, okay, it did say to stir it, which I didn't. I shook it. I'm gonna give it a stir because from watching people paint with it, I expected it to be a little thicker. I think it's thickening up a little as I stir it. This is a mineral paint, I guess, so how similar it is to chalk paint, I will find out, or chalk mineral paint. But I guess mineral sediments would settle at the bottom, so that's why they want you to stir it. So usually I shake Dixie Belle, and depending on, sometimes metallic paints I'll stir, but it just depends. Yeah, that feels a little thicker, so I am glad I stirred it. So remember that. And we're just going to go ahead and paint over these boxes. So it's really kind of a similar feel, I have to admit. It's not that much thicker or anything. Very pretty color. So, of my projects here, I'm literally taking a page from the Jamie Ray Vintage book and painting everything the same color except for the switchblade covers. This will probably need another coat because I'm painting on this red here. These ones I think I'm going to stamp. Like I said, I'll get a coat of paint on everything and then I'll show you all my goodies. So did Riker have COVID too, Haley? And everybody in your house, I'm gonna guess? We did have some fun at the beach. We definitely got to have some fun. Well, we cut it a day short, and God love my husband. He drove home, and I slept. And then when we got home, he started feeling bad. So, but enough of that. I can't wait to show you all these goodies. So I'm speed painting. So I'm anxious to go back to the shop tomorrow, but I will say that I probably have a mess to go back to because we had a huge wedding. So your stepdad did, then Riker, then your mom, then you, and your mom's friend and her. Yeah, oh my gosh. Yeah, you guys really had it. Corey didn't get it yet. I forgot what I was saying. think I was, I don't know whether I was still talking about the beach or what, but. Got my little grizz at my feet. Okay. Corey, he's holding out, huh? Jeez. Somebody had to take care of all of you, right? Oh boy. Okay. So what we're going to do is use some molds on the tin cans and the glass jar, and then after we get the molds on, then we're going to paint that. And then these ones we're going to use some stamps. So not only was I out of glue, but my stamp pads were all at the shop too, so I just didn't go there yet either, so I just ordered some new stamp pads and picked them up as well. So we're going to set this stuff aside a minute. Like I said, we'll probably need a second coat on that. It does have really good coverage. A lot of times when you paint cardboard like this, it is porous, so it will absorb it pretty well. So let me get this out of the way. And our little switch plate covers are drying. So, okay, so the first thing I want to show you is some new molds. Now, I do have another frames mold, but this is like frames 2, I believe is called. Well, it's just called frames. I think the other one's cameo, but it has some frames in it as well. So we're gonna use some clay. I ordered some clay from Amazon and had that delivered yesterday. And then there was also a little alphabet too. So what we're gonna do, let's use, all right, so we have these 2 cans, and I thought these would be cute for flowers. And I see a lot of people crushing the cans and then putting little wire on them or something. This would also be cute to mount on a piece of wood, but we'll do a little frame on both of these ones. But this one I thought we would just put, you know, just leave it as is and just paint it and make a flower vase with it. So so let's do our molds first. And so this can's kind of little, so let's do this oval one for that. And this one's a little bit bigger, so let's do this. We could do this other oval, but let's do this one. This one's kind of fancy. Okay, so like I said, we're going to use paper clay, and we're also gonna. So I've used this clay before. It's called DOS, I guess, and it's made in Italy. So it's nice and soft, but we want to keep it that way. You always want to make sure you seal this back up. But I have found, especially with this brand of clay, that you want to use cornstarch. So regular old cornstarch, and just put a brush in it, and then dust these molds. Oh, we're not using that one. So we just kind of brush that cornstarch in there. It's just so the clay doesn't stick and it'll release easily. I love using molds, and I know you've seen me do the 2-part epoxy, the amazing casting resin with them as well, and that's a lot of fun also. Oh, the one thing I wanted to tell you about workshops is we're going to start doing some workshops again. As soon as we get that scheduled and on the agenda, we're going to start with a couple different classes, and I'm excited about that. Hope you are too. Okay, so my clay. So it comes with this little sticker to keep it fresh, so I just used that, and I'm just going to grab a hunk of it in here. I'm probably going to put this inside a plastic bag because I don't trust that little thing. Okay, just work the mold or the clay in your hands just a little bit. And we're just gonna press it in here. IOD molds are special because they have a raised edge. They call it the micro rim, and it makes it really easy to get a nice crisp mold. They also have they have measurements on there. So if you are using the amazing casting resin, like I do a lot, it tells you exactly how much liquid you need to fill that mold. So that's cool too. So if you want to be exact, you can measure it out or weigh it out. They give you both grams and milliliters. Not me, I just kind of mix it up and guess. But if I was going to make a whole bunch of something, like say I was going to do this for wedding favors or something, I'd probably want to know how much it took to fill it so that I wouldn't be wasting a lot of material. Because usually whenever I have extra, I just pour it in something else. But wouldn't this be really cute? Wedding favors or placeholders, I guess. Okay, so just gonna flip this over and release the mold. And I'm gonna pick it up and show you the detail in this. Oh my gosh, isn't that incredible? All that little tiny detail in there. Okay, so we'll do our oval one. This is like adult Play-Doh. It's really fun. The cool thing is you don't have to bake it or anything. It is air dry. Okay, so we're just gonna squish that down in the middle. Work it to the edges and then remove the excess. We just want to make sure it's nice and flat. Whoops. That's anxious to pop out of there. We'll put it back in. Okay. I think I'll pull the whole thing out and start again, so. I hope you guys can hear me okay. I was going to turn the air conditioner off because it's right beside me. So let me know if you can hear me okay. Because I'll turn it off if you can't. Alright, so we have it nice and flat. And I'm going to close this up for the moment. See, even that way, unless you take the time, you could still get air in there. So that's why I want to put it in an additional bag. Over and flip it, and another beautiful mold just popped out. Oh my gosh, I wanted these because I can just see all the potential for jewelry making. Air dry clay doesn't work great for jewelry, more so the two-part epoxy. You can paint it, because that gets really hard. You can paint it and make it look like metal or whatever. So I'm sure you'll be seeing some of these. We'll have to do a jewelry night. So we're going to put those on here. And so I picked up this Aleene's Tacky glue, which I like to use a lot. They changed their package, and isn't this smart? There's where the nozzle is, so it's always going to be ready to go. So that's a good innovation. All right, so when you're working with this, with the molds, you can glue them right on and then paint everything. Okay, I think I have to cut this top. Easier said than done here. I should have done that ahead of time. I also have a sore finger, so sometimes I'm a little challenged here. There we go. Okay, so as I was saying, when you're working with these, you can just put, is there a safety seal in here? Let's check that out. Of course there is. That would have been a while too. All right. We'll get it together. I don't want to waste any glue. You just want to be careful when you paint with it, because you don't want to like jam your brush into it so that you get rid of any of that detail in there. You want to put it on, and then you want to use your fingers and get it the whole way to the end. So that's convenient. You can just set that in there. Nice. Way to go, Aileen. Now, I am ancient, so I remember the Aileen's show. Her and her daughters would put on this show, and they would do all these little crafts. So I redid an Aileen's craft one night. It used brown paper bag, and then we put glue on it and then burn it, and it made it almost like metal. It was really, really cool. Okay, so we're gonna flip this over, and the lines on the can will help position it so that it's kind of straight. So you just want to make sure that you have all the edges down, and it does dry off pretty quickly so that you can paint it and not really lose that detail, but you just need to be careful with it when it's wet. Sometimes it shrinks too, so that's another thing too. You may want to come back and check your edge around there and see if you need to touch up the paint. Okay, so we have that one on there, and then we'll do this one, and then we're going to paint those cans as well, and then we're going to make some letters and put it on the glass jar. Then I can't wait to do some paint inlays. I've been really excited about that. We might do the stamping first, just to get that out of the way and make room for the paint inlays, because that's, to me, going to be the real star of the show. Okay. So this just, folds right over or bends right over the can and keeps the shape. If you were working with the amazing casting resin, if you get it right out of the mold immediately, then you can bend it like that, or you know, it'll fold over or bend over the shape, the round shape. Um, so you see a little cracking in there. I actually like that. I think it's kind of cool. It kind of looks vintage to me, so I don't get upset about that. Okay, and I have a Mr. bottle here, which we're going to be using later with the paint inlays. But for right now, I'm going to use it to get the glue off my fingers. This is a little crooked, so I can still reposition it. There we go. That's a little better. Like I said, the lines on the can are helpful in that regard. Okay, I always put my brushes, as you know, I always put them away in a bag when I'm not using them. And then that way, they don't dry up. So we're going to get that DIY paint out again. So again, this is my first time using this, and I'm only using it because I just wanted to try it. And so I watch Jamie Ray Vintage a lot, and I just love a lot of those crafters. And Jamie Ray, they do a lot, Jamie and Zeb do a lot of really cool things with IOD products. And as a matter of fact, Jamie, I don't know whether you'll ever see this or not, but I got Apothecary because of you. So my one color I chose Apothecary because of Jamie. So if you haven't followed Jamie Ray Vintage channel, give them a follow too. I love them. Love those guys. I know what I was talking about earlier. I said about opening tomorrow, and that we had a big wedding on the 11th, and of course we were going to be away, so the delivery guy came in and got everything, and so it's been returned to the store, so now it all needs put back in its proper places. So I'm sure when I walk in tomorrow, we're going to have a lot of stuff, a lot of places. And in addition to that, we also are getting some help for the summer from Career Link. So that's cool. We're going to have, I met Haley from Career Link, so I've met lots of good people through that program, and it's great to have help. Okay, so like I said, just kind of want to be a little bit gentle around the fancy detail. And we'll just have to keep an eye on to see if it shrinks at all and if we need another coat. But we're going to set that aside. We're moving right along here and give this a coat. So I'm tempted in this little spot inside the frames to use some of the paint inlays in there too. So I think that's going to happen. We maybe should not start the jar project, but we'll see. We'll see. We'll let this dry and we'll do a little stamping next. So I don't think these cardboard canisters are going to need another coat, actually. I rinsed these cans out and I feel that there's still water in there. It feels so good to be doing something creative and normal again. Just, you know, it's so weird when all you want to do is sleep, or I don't know. This is my second time too. I had it in September. It's my husband's second time also. And we both had our vaccines. Oh well. All right. So we've got 2 painted cans here. Sounded like the count. Alright, setting that aside to dry. And I looked here and I saw I missed a whole bunch up at the top here. Unless that shifted. And that's exactly what happened. Oh boy. Okay. Carefully scooted it back up without hurting it too much. But I guess I'm going to have to figure out how to let this dry so that the glue doesn't shift. So, alright, we're going to get creative here. I'm going to do something here. If I put it upside down, the same thing will happen. Let's see if that, yeah, that does not fit in there. I see a little paint bottle over, or wait, here's, why this is on my table, I don't know, but I think it'll help me out here. Okay, that'll work. Alright, again, I'll put the brush away. And let's do a little stamping. Let's show you those stamps. Because we can come back, if we don't get to the jar and the letter stamp, or the letter molds, then we can do that another time. But I do want to show you some of this other stuff here. So, so here's 2 molds, or stamps, I keep getting everything mixed up, that I got as well. And I love this one. This is Bohemia. Okay, so you can just take these off the sheet and use them by themselves, or you can keep them, you can cut it apart and just kind of keep them on this hard mylar to use as kind of a little handle for it, or a backer. And then they also come with these masks. So someday I'll show you why you would want to use a mask. It's basically, if you want to, say I wanted to have this border, and then I wanted to put something else on top of it. So I would stamp it and then mask it. Now, doing it the opposite. If you wanted to look like it was behind something, that's what you would do. Stamp it, then mask it, and then stamp the new thing over top of it. So that way it looks like the new thing is in front of it. If that makes any sense. It's going to be something we'll have to play with, and I'll have to do a demo for you. But anyway, so that's one of them. And then here's the other one. This is a 2-sheet stamp set, and this is called Lady Shallot. And I love these flowers. I'll show you this against the white because you can see it best, but really pretty. So that's one sheet, and then here's the other sheet. So there's so much detail in their stamps. So what I am looking to do, first of all, is stamp the lids. Now I don't have really 100% good coverage on here, but that's okay, because when we stamp it, and then I have some other things I want to do with it, when we do that, it's kind of gonna mask all that. So I thought I would use this big flower on top of this lid, and then there's another flower that we can use on the other lid. So I'm just going to take them off of this sheet. And when you first get these, you'll think that you're never going to get these things off. But you will. This is the part that you have to fight with it. But you really, these are made out of silicone, and they won't tear. So you can pull it as hard as you like. But these are brand new, and something that they suggest you do is condition them. Which means we're just simply going to take a little piece of sandpaper. Shoo. Okay. We're just going to take a little piece of sandpaper and just rough up the surface. Again, just so that it has a little bit of tooth and the ink sticks to it. So when I picked up my stuff at Michael's, so you know, if you've seen me stamp before, and I use these little ones. These are bigger containers, and this is my favorite color, the one that I really ruined because I used it so much, called Vintage Photo. Love this one. And then this one is Hickory Smoke. So I figured they'd both be really good to use on this project. So let's use the Vintage Photo first. And all we do is just okay, why am I not getting any ink on here? Really hope I didn't get a dried up stamp. Let me try it on here. Boy, there's some on it, but it just okay. There we go. I think we just needed to. It's very faint. I hope it shows up a little better. I can see it a little bit, but I don't think it's going to make much of an image. Okay, maybe it's the stamp. Maybe it's a little dried up. So let's try the other one and see. I'm not getting much on this one either. I didn't want to use paint on it, although you can, but it's a good idea to have a brayer for that. I'm just going to set it down on the paper and see if I get an image. Okay, I did get an image, so I was getting something on there, I just wasn't seeing it. Okay. Well, actually, I don't know which color I like better now, but I'm going to go ahead and work with the Vintage Photo and see if that works. Not sure how invisible ink works, but I'm not seeing it on here. Okay, let's hope we get a good image. I don't want to leave that open. Kind of want to center it. Not super important, but the important thing is once you put it down, you don't want to shift it around. You just want to keep it where it is and just use your fingertips. You don't have to press real hard. Okay. Nice. There's little crumbs of something there. Okay. I like the way it looks. It's very subtle and really pretty. Okay, I think maybe to try and make these a cohesive set, what I'm gonna do is use the hickory smoke and the other flower on top of the other one, and then we'll put a border around the outside and make those colors opposite. If you follow me there. Okay, so peeling this off of here, because I just like to use them by themselves. I just feel like for these smaller images, you can also put, there's acrylic blocks you can use with them too. So there's all kinds of ways you can do it. But again, this is new, so I'm going to condition it. Hang on a second. There's the cough. Let's hope that's all we get. I haven't been talking this much for a week, so I'm sure someone somewhere is glad about that. I'll tell you what though, being sick this time was much better than the last experience. Both times when my husband and I had it before, we were apart because he was working away and he couldn't come home when I had it, and so this time we were here together, and there's a few times we made each other laugh, which resulted in a cough fest also. So, you know, adventures of I think I'm going to really like the way this one looks on there, because I like the stamp image that I got on the paper. It's a very pretty color. Like I said, again, it doesn't look like there's anything on there, but we have to trust. And you know what? If it doesn't turn out, there's always paint over it and do it again, right? There we go. Got a really nice little image on there. You can see. Okay, so I like that color. So we have the two tops done. So let's do these sides. Let's go to the, so this is the Lady Shalott stamp. So now we're going to go to the Bohemia Stamp and get a border for along the side. So let's just pick this big wide border for here. These are all so pretty. I just love them. Pull that whole sheet off and get that out of the way. And then for the fun part is pulling this off. It's not too bad. Okay, and again, we'll sand this real quick. Okay, so the lid we did in the vintage photo for the big one. So let's use the hickory smoke for the side. And this beautiful border. Okay, wait, I see my glue slid again. Putting it back in place. We might get some crackle with this, because glue makes paint crackle. A lot of times the crackle mediums, that's what they're made of, is basically glue, like Elmer's. And it just reacts with the paint and makes a crackle. Okay, so I don't think it matters whether we do which side is up, but I want to get it relatively straight. There you have it. I have it on there. So just want to move it around, or not move the stamp, but move my fingers around just to get the impression on there. Okay, so pretty. I like that. And let's do it again. Go the whole way around the container. I can't wait to get to the paint inlays. We've been on 45 minutes already. Oh my. We're just having too much fun tonight. What I might do is finish this stamp and then we'll go directly to the paint inlays. So you can see how we finish the other one later on. Too many projects tonight, huh? Oh, my other one is shifting again too, so. It's so pretty. All right, one more impression on there, and I only have to do half of it, or a little bit more than half of it, I think, to finish it off. It's so weird that I can't even see it on there, but okay, I hope I got it on there right. Yeah, looks good, and let's put the lid on it. There, I like that. I think what I'll do is do a little distressing on it too, but I think it's really pretty. Maybe do another border on this part too. Why not? Okay, so that's a project to finish up. Let's take a look at these paint inlays and see what they're all about. And I'm opening this package for the very first time with you, so we're gonna learn together. So I got two different patterns. So what this is all about, paint inlays are actually sheets of paint, and you put them down in wet paint, and then you let it dry, and then you re-wet it and you peel the sheet off. So this one is called Chateau, and they both remind me of vintage wallpaper. So if you look on here, here's all of this. So it's 8 different sheets, and they're all this size. So you can imagine what a big image you can make. And also, this will, you can use this over and over again. Each time you use it, it's going to fade a little bit. So this is 8 12 by 16 sheets, okay? So let's use the other one here. This one, Rose Chintz. I've been like eyeing this up ever since I saw it. So again, there are 8 sheets in this one as well, and they're all the same, although you do have to kind of match them. So I'm going to pull this out here. So that's just our cover. So this is nice, you can keep them in here. And then these are the sheets. And there's, so, oh, I can see that's paint on there. That's crazy. So I'm just going to pull one of these sheets out. And these are a little pricey, just so you know. They're like, this one was $38, and the other one was $46.50. And I've actually seen them more than that. So they were a little pricey, but I think they're going to be way fun. Now, you have to put this down in wet paint, but I'm just going to use this as kind of a pattern. So we'll put it on there and then we'll cut it out and then we'll wet the paint and lay it in there. So, you don't see a pencil. I'm just going to do that. That made enough of an impression on there. Now, these take on a different personality, whatever color they're on. They really look pretty on that that kind of color, that Apothecary color. But I've seen it on black too, which is why I chose the Anchor. And I think that'll be really pretty. So there's a grid line on there, so you cut it straight. Especially important if you're using it on furniture and matching up patterns. So get that one, and then we'll do a little one for the switch, the light switch. I think these are, you know, these would be really cool accents to a room, especially if you have a lot of florals in your room. I may end up doing that. I have florals in my kitchen. Everything's floral. So. Okay. So I'm just gonna put this back in here for the time being. Since I'm kind of new with this, I don't want to mess it up. So let's get our let me see, we want, where's my brush? Nothing like not reading the instructions. I have watched people do this on YouTube many times, so I'm just kind of going by what I saw them do. So, so this is my first time with this. And I'm sure that you can easily mess it up, because one of the important things to remember is that you have to put the side down that has the actual paint on it. And if you're working with something, because some of the designs are like directional, like that that other one would be, but this one doesn't. If I was matching it up, if I was using it on a big piece, then it would have to have a direction. But if I'm using it just with, okay, this paint's drying really fast, so I'm just going to hurry up and put this down on here. So again, you just want to make sure that you get the side with the actual paint on it in the wet paint. Okay, so I don't think it's going to take long to get some results with these, because like I said, the paint's drying really fast, probably because I am right by the air conditioner here. Oh, and another thing, I may not be using the best paint for this, because I was watching someone and they said not to use like a paint with a sealer built in, which this does, but then they also said that they break the rules a lot too, so, and that's me too. So I think if you do it really quickly, we'll be okay, because that's the danger of it, would be letting it dry too fast. And that sealer, you know, those paints tend to dry top down, so that would be kind of the danger there. Danger, danger. Okay, so we're almost at an hour here, so I'm gonna use I did bring the hairdryer down. And they are plugged in different things, so we should not blow a fuse. Got a lot of stuff going here though, so if for some reason we blow a fuse, I won't get back on. I will just follow up with you tomorrow, but I'm just gonna shut the air off real quick, just because we have so much stuff going on here. Okay. But aren't these paint inlays cool? I can't wait to use them on furniture. Oh. Okay, maybe I have to press the little button on here. So also probably not the best to use heat gun with it, but you know, again, when you're doing stuff live, lots of times you just want to get the results. So, okay, so then you want to wet it. You can use like a wet cloth, or I just have the mister bottle here. So we're just going to re-wet it. And then peel it off. So let's keep our fingers crossed, because this seemed way too easy. I'm gonna start up here. Right here. For whatever reason, I peeled paint. That's okay, I'll touch it up, but that's really cool. Okay, so I'm gonna set that up to dry. It might be because I used the paint with the sealer in it. You know, that might be a no-no. It might not do it with chalk paint. And also just because it's on this plastic, even though I did try to rough up the surface. Yeah, that's wanted to peel that. I might not let it dry too much or enough. But like I said, I'm going to touch it up. Eh. You know me doing it the first time on a live. So this one didn't work too good. I know it's all user error here. It was my fault. But never fear. I'm going to let those dry out, and then you can bet I'll be trying that again. But what I'm going to do before we go here is just grab the black and just touch this up a little bit and show you a little bit of a close-up so that you can see how pretty it is. Even that to me is pretty, and the other one will be pretty too, but I'll have to redo it. Again, I was rushing and didn't do it properly, so I'm not mad about it. Lessons learned, right? And you can even take colors and touch these up. I've seen people do that as well. But isn't that so cute? Custom switch plate covers, yay. I'm just gonna take this, since I messed it all up, just gonna paint over it and put the inlay on it and let it dry, and then I'll revisit it later. I even heard someone saying that you can I'm just going to paint right over that because it is paint after all. Like I said, using this kind of paint might not be the best thing, but maybe if I was patient enough to let it dry, it might work a little better. Might too, the holes in it, you know, that might kind of have something to do with it. Because this has less holes in it, we got a better result with that. But this one I am going to let dry, probably overnight. And then in the morning, wet it again, peel it off, and let's hope we get a real good image transfer there. So let me put the camera up here again. Sorry about the hand in the way. So I'm so glad that you were here to join me tonight after all these weeks, and glad to be back. So look for some workshops coming up, and also if you're local, stop by and see us. We're opening back up tomorrow, and look forward to lots of good things happening. So take care, everybody, and it was good seeing you. You have a great night. Bye bye.